everyone. You are on Igniting Minds, the Power of Knowledge. And we have very special guest today, Brandon Woods, educator, recruiter, advisor, and community leader. The for Student Engagement, Leadership, and Orientation, that is called CSELO, in University of New Haven. So let's talk to him and see like what he is doing and where he's diving himself. Welcome, Brandon, to Igniting Minds, the Power of Knowledge. Thank you so much for giving your precious time to us. And I would like to know whoever is not knowing about you and would like to know more about CSELO and you, if you can introduce a little bit.
Oh, sure. So thanks for having me. As was said, my name is Brandon. I work in the Center for Student Engagement, Leadership, and Orientation. I'm an associate director. I've been at the University of New Haven for about 6 months.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so what are the things you are doing, and since like you just came, and how you're feeling, and what are the new initiative you are looking into?
Feeling great. There's a lot going on. I'm responsible for commuter initiatives, leadership programs, civic engagement, as well as some aspects of orientation and recognized student organization development. So I do a lot. There's a lot of new initiatives in place. We've been doing some more developmental programs for organizations, some focus groups, trying to have conversations with people to see what they need. We've been adding to commuter programs and changing up the landscape there, adding some more touch points with student staff members and the commuter population, as well as bringing in other partners on campus within the campus community to help celebrate and highlight community population. So we've been doing quite a few things, and then we want to increase our civic engagement by bolstering our community partner list. So that's one of the things I've been working on, is really just getting connected with people in the greater New Haven area to have opportunities for students to be able to volunteer.
Okay. And what is the best thing you like about University of New Haven?
I think it's its location. It's an ideal space when you think about Southern Connecticut. Being in this area of West Haven, you can get to many places quickly. You're not far away from major cities like Bridgeport and New Haven. It doesn't take you too long to get to Hartford. And I'm a food person, and so there's lots of good food also.
What do you like most over here?
So I think it depends on the day, but you can't go wrong with the pizza in the area.
Yeah, which is quite famous. Yeah, and I remember like even Elon Musk interview where he mentioned like it's really good and delicious pizza you can get ever like in Connecticut.
Yeah, it's like it's the best. It's truthfully one of the better parts of being around here.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so let's talk about the few stories you came, like you spent 6 months. Have you seen any kind of like a student who are coming to you and where you have seen them like enhancing their skill set? What kind of things you have seen or experienced with the students?
Sure. So one of the things I'm responsible for is leadership programming. And with leadership, we have what's called the CLE. That's the competency learning experience. Those are the things that the university has worked with employers to determine as skills that students need to have when they're going into the work field. I've seen some students that have come in to programs surrounding the CLE that have trouble communicating or maybe speaking in public spaces.
Correct.
And then after going through those types of programs or having those types of experiences, they're a lot better equipped to speak in front of groups or to articulate whatever points they have.
So how they have improved themselves?
Yep. So by way of, these programs that we do, we're encouraging people to have open discussions in rooms of, diverse populations. Even, asking them to stand up and talk about a particular topic. So relative to communication, as a person might be struggling with public speaking, we're giving them actual opportunities to stand up and practice in a safe space in order to build their skills in that particular realm. So,
and come out like from their comfort zone on a regular basis so that like they can get more comfortable zones in that particular place.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely.
Okay. And so here we see like a lot of diversity, like a lot of like global people, especially students, they come from different culture, background. So I'm pretty much sure you might have faced some sort of like challenge as well that keeping everyone like together. How do you handle that kind of challenge? And especially, I would really like to know what kind of challenge you face.
So it's a very weird time in the world that we live in right now. Lots of cultural conflicts, global conflicts that we can point to. And students here are very representative of many different backgrounds, and they have connections to different groups, affinities for different causes. And so um, these conversations do come up where you might see a group that wants to do a protest for it or against a particular cause, or they might have groups that might have a cultural foundation, and so they might align with a particular region or what have you, and therefore they're naturally aligned with some of the conflicts that are going on. What we do is a few things. One, we try to equip students with the proper skills to be able to have discourse and dialogue. And so very directly, as an organization on campus, you have to go through diversity, equity, and inclusion training. And in that diversity, equity, inclusion training, we have topics about cross-cultural communication, as well as having difficult conversations in different spaces. And so those are two examples that I can think of that allow the person that's going through that training the opportunity to really learn how to be uncomfortable across the table from someone maybe that looks like them or doesn't look like them, how to have a conversation that they may not have felt equipped to have. And so thinking about the diversity on campus and how do you make it such that people can coexist, you have to teach them how, honestly, and I think we do that pretty well.
And so like you have like a team, and if we see like the number of students are really huge, how do you pick up like a student, or how do you reach out to the student saying, okay, you should do some similar kind of stuff, or like some for example, you have to build the club, for example, you have to come up like think out of the box. How do you inspire student, and especially like you pick up student that, oh, this is the best, so you have to get them, inspire them, and push them a little further?
I think it's a three-part answer. One, we create spaces for students to have conversations. So we encourage co-sponsorship and collaborations between recognized student organizations. We also have what's called an involvement fair, where a student that is interested in anything, or they don't know what they're interested in, they're not sure what they value, or maybe they do know what they value, they want to look for people that have a similar mindset, they can go into that space and search for an organization that appeals to them. And also, if you don't see something that directly appeals to you, as long as it doesn't already exist on campus, you can create your own. And so that's one of the ways that we create spaces for people to share ideas, coexist, and learn from each other. So that's one thing. And so it's not so much that we're cherry picking students to say, hey, I think you should do this, even though I will if I do have a thought about that, but I don't always have the bandwidth to do that. A lot of times it takes students to have a certain amount of initiative, to want to do something, to want to have a conversation, and then we can kind of point them in the right direction. But also, having been in the field for some time, you see people, you see what they're good at, and you mentioned things, right? And so I think about, I was in a student government meeting a few months ago, and I saw a student that spoke very eloquently and passionately about a particular topic. And I said, hey, I need you to work for me. I'm hiring for the summer. I need you to apply for this position because I've seen you in a certain element, and I think that translates well to the work that we do. Okay. So there's some of that happens, but I think, beyond those individual choices, it's more about creating the spaces for people.
Okay, that's so nice. I mean, that's how like you keep your eyes open and see like where you are looking the passion and interest, and that's how like you push them a little further to do more, right?
Precisely.
That's amazing. And if I talk about like the culture, people, they come like different culture, right? How do you resonate them? How do you make them club all together where they should experience with each other like their culture and enjoy them and respect them? So that kind of like we have seen like a lot of problem in that, like someone is not involving themselves or they are not respecting. So how do you make them feel that, oh, they should respect, they should attend, they should learn about that?
So it's partially, there needs to be a willingness from the student. the work that we do in our office, it's quite difficult for us to make you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first part that's important to understand. But beyond that, I think it's through the spirit of collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know everything. We have a good understanding. We have a lot of diverse backgrounds from education and experience in our office, but we also have folks on campus that have a lot of expertise in those spaces. And so we are oftentimes, a catalyst, or we really encourage collaboration with other offices. So like you have the Office of Graduate and International Student Life on
Mm-hmm.
campus. You also have a division of institutional equity
Mm-hmm.
on campus that has cultural center and staff that have that foundation and background. And so what I typically do is leverage those partners
Mm-hmm.
to continue to create those spaces for people to have conversations, understand how they're similar, but also understand how they're different.
Mm-hmm.
Inclusion. There's a difference between inclusion and equity. And so I don't want to get to a long spiel about philosophy about those things, but we can try to make sure that things are equitable from a policy standpoint, and that you have access to resources and things.
Mm-hmm.
And we do some programming around promoting inclusion, but we really do the best work by way of collaborating with other partners on campus to make that thing happen.
Okay. And if I drag your attention towards like the mental health, now a lot of students they are leaving their like home behind, and I see like a lot of international student in this university. So how do you handle, because we never know from which background they are coming up and what they are facing. How do you identify those kind of students where like they are going through somewhere, they are not sharing. There are certain students who are not very open to share and come to you, right? How do you identify those kind of students, and what is your initiative for that?
So one, we're a lot of us have training on this, right? Like this, I have a master's degree in counseling
Okay.
relative to the population of college students, right?
Mhm.
And there are a lot of us that have similar training, and so we literally go to school to learn warning signs
Mhm.
about people in different developmental stages, and how they present or how they might not present, what types of words they might choose to use, and patterns of behavior that might be evident of anything, right? Something being wrong or not, right? So there's a certain amount of technical know-how there.
Mhm.
Beyond that, there's a large collaborative response across campus. So we have an initiative that unites different people across offices to respond to students of concern. And so even if you have something going on, I might not notice it, but maybe a professor does,
Correct.
and then they say something, and then we can do a group response, right?
Mhm.
So that's one of the ways that we, help out with the different mental health challenges, or just challenges in general that students have.
Mhm.
And then there are resources. There's CAPS on campus, which is the counseling center, and then there are a few other outlets. They can help you find someone else to talk to, or a lot of us consider ourselves to be, mentors and leaders in different spaces. And so separate from, actual tangible mental health resources, if you feel like you're just going through, there's a lot of people for you to, be able to talk to and connect with and build
Mhm.
community.
Mhm. So have you encountered these kind of things like with any students so far?
It happens. It does.
Would you
Yeah.
like to share that story?
I can't, but I'll say that when students come in and they have their
Uh-huh.
different points of concern, what our role is to do an assessment and
Mhm.
to help the student find the resources. I mean, that's our general role. You
Mhm.
come in for a club,
Mhm.
I'm going to do an assessment to help you find the resources. And so it's the same thing for the mental health space, but just the resources look a little bit different.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't have an example to share that I can share right now, but
Mhm.
these things happen every day.
Okay, yeah. So the one thing, it's like more on your side. What is one habit you would consider it has to be necessary for a student to achieve the success?
I don't have one, I have two.
Okay.
I think communication is key. A
Uh-huh.
lot of times we're not successful because we don't say things. out loud.
Correct.
We don't ask questions or we don't say the thing that we're thinking because we don't think anyone
Mhm.
wants to hear it or has an answer for us, what have you. And so the one piece of advice that I have for students across the board, high school, college, graduate students, is speak up, say the thing, ask the question.
Okay.
I won't even say my second thing. Communication is the thing. I think
Okay.
that is particularly important. The advice that I give is to learn, how you communicate, lean into that. Don't shy away from it because you'll be better off because you have to advocate for yourself.
Mhm.
And
the second one?
I don't even worry about this. We'll just keep it at the first one.
Okay. The biggest challenge right now which you are facing.
I think we're spread pretty thin, unfortunately.
Mhm.
University is a place that people work at, right?
Mhm.
There's an ideal situation. People create organizational charge to say we need this many people to do a thing,
Correct.
but then people transition, right? And we have a responsibility to you as students or the students on campus to be able to provide a service. And it's hard for us to be able to say, no, we can't do this service anymore. And so, bandwidth is probably the biggest challenge for me, is being able to be what I want to be for everyone that needs it.
Mhm.
But not enough time in a day. If I could just have one more me,
Mhm.
I'd be fine. I just need to be able to get another me, which is hard to do. So, yeah.
Okay.
Time.
Okay. And what is your style of mentoring student?
I always consider myself to be a coach type figure, in the sense that I can show you or tell you, the way to go, but I'm not going to do the thing for you. I don't want to do the thing for you. I want to see you succeed, and empower you to be able to do this thing, like in case I'm not here, because you have to do it again, right?
Yeah.
And so, the word that I usually use for like my mentoring style, my leadership style, what have you, is a coach.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay. So let's jump into the next round where you have to answer whatever word I'm gonna say, whatever comes in your mind, you have to just say it.
Okay, got it.
So let's get into that. The passion.
Music.
Okay. Culture.
Food.
Goal.
Long.
Okay. Transition.
Expectation.
Education.
I wanted to say education. You said the first thing that comes to mind for education.
Okay.
Lifelong. Yeah.
Okay. Opportunity.
Missed.
Outreach.
Continuous.
Leadership.
Teamwork.
Community.
Also teamwork.
Success.
Failure.
Okay. Social.
Community.
University of New Haven.
Growing.
CSELO.
Also growing.
Okay, that's so perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for your amazing time and for Fire 5 round.
Yes.
And it was wonderful and very knowledgeable, informative session we had. And what is the last word you would like to say to student who would like to, who doesn't know about much CSELO, and you want to throw some words to them and they should initiate?
Come talk to me. Just that much. Come talk to me. Let's have a conversation.
Okay, so whatever you are thinking, without thinking in your head and thinking overthink. So don't think too much. Just come to the CSELO and reach out to the people. Especially like to Brandon. Yeah. Thank you. Let's meet next time. And yeah, bye. Thank you.
Perfect.